Bang, bang. What's going on, guys? Lunch money time coming to you on Wednesday while Wall Street's trying to get rich. The rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. I'm here with the beautiful and intelligent Polina Marinova. She looks like an elf today. She's just missing a little hat.
I just said that and you copied it.
Well, if you're going to say that you look like an elf, then it's okay for me to say it. You see how I am making sure that you won't get mad? Let's get into the topics. What's going on with Airbnb?
Airbnb has plans to lay off nearly 1,900 employees, or about 25% of the company. This is interesting because there was just a profile on Brian Chesky, the CEO. It talked about how the company was supposed to go public in 2020. Instead, he's expecting a 50% revenue dip, and he's cutting his $800 million marketing budget.
So Airbnb is firing 1,900 employees, 25% of the staff. There's three things that I think are interesting here. One, they're supposed to go public. Now they're not.
I just said that.
I understand. Two is they had a really, really strong balance sheet. At one point, he was actually not bragging, but saying publicly that they had raised over $1 billion and hadn't touched it. So the business was break even to profitable.
So was he not telling the truth when he said that?
No, he was, but it changed, right? I mean, everything changed in the last 3 months. So basically what ends up happening now is you take a business that looked like it was super strong, but it's in travel and hospitality, right? You need people to travel places, and then you've got the hospitality angle to it. And so there's the third thing that I find really interesting is Airbnb's entire model actually may save them here. So if you're a hotel, you actually would own the location and the staff.
Right.
In this case, what ends up happening is Airbnb has, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of locations around the world on their platform. They don't own those pieces of property, and they don't actually employ the quote unquote host. All they do is they play matchmaker between people who want to stay and people who have the property.
So I think that once it's safe to travel again, and once people start traveling again, I do think that there will be a number of people hosting on Airbnb that will want to make some money given the state of this world right now, right?
They will, but my point is that Airbnb's model probably actually saves them and puts them in a better position than hotels.
Yeah, because they don't own all the properties.
Yes.
But what do you do when the people don't have money to travel or it's not safe?
They're not allowed to. But on top of that, then you also have hosts who have gone out. So like if you're an enterprising Airbnb host, you may start with, hey, I have a house. Let me rent out my house. Then you're like, you know what? I'm actually going to go get a second house. Then I'm going to go get a third house, a fourth house, a fifth house. And so there's people who literally have gone and either bought or are renting multiple properties, and all they're doing is they're just renting them out on Airbnb, and they're making good money. Like it was actually a good business. Now all of a sudden you're sitting there like, wait a second, I've got 6 mortgages and I have no ability to actually fill this with people. How am I going to pay my mortgage across these 6 properties? And so I think it's just, this is the realities of what's going on right now. Unfortunately, to see 25% of employees laid off is not good, but also there's plenty of tech companies that are actually benefiting from this. So I think it's kind of, expected yet still sad.
Chesky also said Airbnb's business has been hit hard, with revenue this year forecasted to be less than half of what we earned in 2019. It's only the first, 3, 4, 5 months? What are we, May?
We're in month 5.
5. Wow, it's been 5 months. And he already knows this is not going to be.
Well, it's half the year, almost.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's going on? What the heck is this thing? A-12?
So Elon Musk had a new son, and that is his name.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that like a nickname, or that's like the actual legal name?
It's XAIAE A-12
You're joking.
No.
That's like R2D2. like what do you have? Like will you birth a robot?
It's very unclear how you pronounce this, but Grimes, his girlfriend who had the baby, clarified everything about the baby's name except the pronunciation. So we know what it kind of means. Unclear how you pronounce it.
All right. Well, explain it.
So X is the unknown variable.
Okay.
AI, I think.
AE.
I don't know. She says, my elven spelling of AI, love and or artificial intelligence.
I think she tried to say my 11 spelling.
No, like elven, like elf.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You look like an elf right now. Go ahead.
Okay. A-12, precursor to SR-17, our favorite aircraft.
It's
Duh.
not A-12, it's A-12.
Oh, A-12.
So I messed up the 11,
I like the
Elvin,
minus.
and you messed up
I
minus.
like the
All
minus.
right.
Okay, no weapons, no defenses, just speed. Great in battle, but non-violent. Ain't nobody great in battle who's non-violent.
Yeah, well, obviously, A-12 is. All right, so I saw that, first of all, Elon Musk had a child. That's the whole point of this. He didn't have the child. His girlfriend did. But the best part was I saw somebody on Twitter that took 2 screenshots, and one was people asking her, what is the gender? Is it a boy or a girl? And she had a whole post about like, I don't want to put a gender on the baby. I think that that's for the baby to choose what gender they are. And, you know, kind of that whole talk track. And then somebody asked Musk, boy or girl? And he just responded, boy. So
doesn't Musk have like 5 boys?
I think he has way more children. I think it's actually more than 5. But we'll see what's going on. All right. So we'll figure out what's going on with this name.
Would you ever name your child something like that?
Well, if I had a robot, I definitely would name it like that.
Guys, one time we watched this robot movie.
Oh, Chappie.
Chappie. It's called Chappie. And I just walk in the room and Anthony's like sitting like this and like really extremely sad. I don't think I've ever seen you that sad. And it's because they attack Chappie.
Yeah, the robot had human emotions and they cut off his arm. I was like, it's messed up, man.
So if you're looking for a good movie recommendation,
Chappie, or you can go try to figure out Elon Musk's kid's name. All right, what's going on with the ISS movie?
So NASA, there were rumors, but NASA now confirms that there's going to be a Tom Cruise.
Uh-oh, are we getting a laugh attack again? All right, NASA confirms that Tom Cruise movie is going to be shot aboard the International Space Station. I got a lot of questions about this, including 1, is Tom Cruise going to go? 2,
of course he's going to go. What do you mean?
Is he? Tom Cruise is not going to space. I would bet a lot of money they're not going to send Tom Cruise to space because you'd have to have all of the training to go.
SpaceX will presumably take part as Cruise rides to the ISS, assuming the actor is actually going to be the one heading there to film on the site. I think he's going to go. He's insane.
It's not a matter of intellectual insanity. It's a matter of physical preparedness. You would have to be physically fit enough, like an astronaut, to fly to space.
But do you remember the other day when we were talking about those astronauts and they were like in their 40s and 50s? So why not Tom Cruise?
It doesn't matter what your age is. They're physically fit and trained to go to space. It's like saying, hey, why doesn't the 3-year-old go drive a car? Well, like, first of all, the 3-year-old doesn't have the ability to drive the car.
What the point is of filming a Tom Cruise movie on the ISS if Tom Cruise cannot go on the ISS?
Well, it's all about authenticity, I'm assuming. So rather than do it on like a movie lot in Hollywood, let's go do the real thing. Plus, guess what you're doing? You're promoting their ISS movie right now. So it's a great marketing tactic.
For NASA.
Well, NASA 1, but also 2 for the movie. They're going to sell a bunch of money. They're going to sell a bunch of the movie if people are like, holy shit, they really went to the ISS.
See, when you said movie there, you really wanted to say Tom Cruise me.
What's going on with Iran? It's too early in the morning for this.
So Iran, inflation is ravaging the currency. Tell us what's going on.
I mean, look, this is what happens when inflation hits. The currency goes down in value, and so they've got to print more in societies where there is heavy cash, like actual physical cash usage. They start to print bigger and bigger dollars, right? So, for example, the real. If yesterday a loaf of bread, I'll just use easy numbers, was 10 real, and today it's 20, or a year from now it's 1,000 or 10,000 real for that same loaf of bread. Obviously, you don't want to be carrying around, tens or hundreds of 10 real, currency. So what they end up doing is they print larger and larger ones so that it's easier to carry it around, right? That 10 real is now basically worthless, like worth a penny. So then they start to print 100, 1,000, 10,000, a million real, whatever. And so in Zimbabwe, the famous one is that there's a $1 trillion Zimbabwe physical cash. I actually have one in my wallet I carry around. But
How'd you get a Zimbabwe bill?
somebody gave it to me as a gift. But with Iran, what's going on here is they're slashing 4 zeros off the face of these off the currency. So basically, what ends up happening is if you had 1,000 real actual hard currency, now it just says 1, right?
Okay.
And the whole idea is if you just remove 4 zeros off all of them, then you can reset the value,
Right.
and you don't have to eventually print a 1 trillion.
I've always wondered that. Why don't they just do that instead of continuing to print larger and larger bills?
Well, because they look like idiots right now.
Why?
Like literally, they look like idiots.
But who cares? Why?
What do you mean, why? They literally just said to everybody, okay, we're so dumb that we created so much inflation and we have a lack of discipline in our central banking that we've literally have to go and slash 4 zeros off.
I hear you.
It's insanity. Like these people are insane. And the reason, remember what you asked yesterday? What is money? You're literally watching a magic trick. These people think they're magicians, but the difference is we've removed the curtain and we're calling bullshit.
Guys, yesterday we literally had like a 5-minute debate around whether magic had a positive connotation or a negative connotation.
No, I said that magic has a positive connotation as an act, but the outcome is negative because you're lying to people. And we compared it with war, which in many cases, the people who conduct war have a negative connotation of the act, but the outcome they explain away as positive.
I did not understand you talking about that part. I was talking about the magic part. I think it's great.
I like magic, but I just want you to know that central bankers are being, again, the virus is showing the sham of the central bankers think they're magicians, and they're literally like, poof, let me just erase 4 zeros off the currency.
But you know why I think magic is positive?
Why?
Because I'm a magician.
Okay, let's go. What's going on with virtual money?
One day I will do a magic trick on this show, and then you'll see. Okay. So virtual money. Startups are getting. Oh wait.
No, you forgot what the topic is already.
Basically, startups are raising money virtually.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big deal. I guess to a lot of people, it's a big deal. I've been doing this for 5 years, investing a lot virtually, not meeting the founders in person. I know a lot of people who that's like blasphemy to them, and they feel like they have to meet the founder.
Because doesn't the VC have to kind of wine and dine me before they can give me money? So they make sure I'm not a psychopath?
I mean, in some cases, yes, but in other cases, like you're like, oh my God, I can't believe one VC wants to give me money. I'll take the money, right? So it's all about supply and demand.
Right.
And
but what is the importance of being in person versus over Zoom?
Well, a lot of people just say, hey, look, I get a better understanding of who this person is by actually spending time with them in person. And so if now all of a sudden I've got to make these investment decisions over Zoom, do I actually get a read on them? I don't see their mannerisms. It's a little less impersonal, like all of those types of things. But look, I don't think that this is necessarily a huge deal. We will see more and more of it at the early stages as teams go remote, as investing teams go remote. The reason why this I think is a big deal is because this company, Vast Data, I believe it's called, they got $1 billion valuation. So they raised quite a bit of money at a very high valuation. My guess, though, and I don't know all the details, is that the valuation was done with existing investors. There's probably some new investors as well. But like when you're at that big of a company, it's less about like, what do I think about Polina? And it's much more about show me the numbers, right? Are you growing? What's your revenue numbers? Like it's more of a financial metrics decision than it is the person.
Do you think that there will be any companies brave enough to go public in 2020?
Yeah.
For the rest of it?
I mean, DraftKings did the reverse merger, right? So like, I definitely think that there will be some companies that do it. Definitely probably in the latter half of the year.
I'm talking about your meat and potatoes type of IPO. I'm not talking about reverse mergers. I'm not talking about direct listings. I'm talking about your like,
No, but why would you do it right now? It's not a courage. It's not a courage thing.
That's what I'm asking. Do we think we've seen the end of the IPO for 2020?
Well, let me ask you this question: would you run into a burning building
to save somebody?
Okay, so there's some cases where you would run in, but well, actually, no, you wouldn't. You'd send me. Let's be serious. You'd be like, why aren't you in there?
That's also accurate.
And then, so some people may want to do it, but the question is, if you go into an uncertain environment, let's say you go public tomorrow, and then all of a sudden there's a massive leg down in the stock market, down 30% during uncertain times, you basically just lost a bunch of your market share, right? Or market cap. And so it's just people, whenever it gets to be uncertain times, they really, really get cautious. We saw Warren Buffett talk about that this weekend. We see Airbnb obviously kind of over-rotating to slashing staff, shoring up the balance sheet, not going public, whatever.
Cool.
What else?
Have you said your piece?
Yeah.
Speaking of uncertain times.
Why is relationships?
Well, I will tell you right now. Esther Perel, who is like a couples therapist, did this interview. And she said some really interesting things that I thought we could talk about today. Okay. So one thing she said is that she thinks that in general, when people are living in acute stress, i.e. quarantine, either the cracks in the relationship will be amplified or the light that shines through the cracks will be amplified. What do you think is amplified, Anthony?
Listen, this isn't the Today Show. This is not the Today Show.
You let me pick the topics?
Yeah, I let you pick the topics today, and I got a robot name, virtual money, which you didn't remember what it was, and relationships. What the heck is this?
I'm asking you. What do you think about living with someone in times of stress?
Well, it depends on who the person is.
Like,
could you imagine living with Joe Exotic or Carol Baskin? That would be a nightmare. Living with you is actually okay. It's fine. Except for we have a problem that we need to discuss on here. We got 3 minutes. I'm going to air this out. Last night, Polina went on Seamless and she ordered Mexican food. She did not realize that it was Cinco de Mayo.
You didn't either. You wanted Mexican food.
So she ordered the Mexican food and we're sitting here probably around 6 o'clock. We're sitting here, doesn't show up. 6:30, not here. 7 o'clock, not here. 7:30, still not here. 8 o'clock, still not here.
I ordered it at 5:30. It arrived at 9.
You ordered it at 6.
No, 5:30.
Okay, 5:30. And so she starts trying to call the place and literally the line is busy the entire time. So it doesn't show. So finally around 8:15, we're like, I guess it's not coming. Like it's been, 2.5, almost 3 hours. So we order from a different Mexican place. And Polina starts talking to people on Seamless, trying to figure out, what's going on. And all of a sudden, I don't hit the send button on the second order. More than 5 minutes later, bam, the food shows up. And I was like, are you kidding me? So then
I told you that could happen. That was a risk you were willing to take.
So newsflash, don't order Mexican food on Cinco de Mayo around dinner time because it basically won't show up ever.
Yeah, we should have gotten American food yesterday, but no.
It's all right. I wanted a chicken quesadilla. That's fine. But we did good. We gave somebody else the food, so we're good.
So anyway, I'm curious how you guys are navigating your relationships during quarantine. Please leave a comment below and tag me.
This is not going to turn into the Today Show. I know that you're enjoying this, but I'm not.
There's going to be people. I know. I'm prepared for the hate. There's going to be people who don't like this.
All right. Well, while Polina is playing Elf up at Santa's workshop, the rest of us are just trying to get our lunch money right. So Wall Street's trying to get rich. The rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. We appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this is helpful. Leave a comment. We do our best to respond to all of them. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye.